In this video, I want to talk to you about the tech stack for building your app and how do you come up with a tech stack. My name's David and I'm a freelance web developer here currently based out of Las Vegas, and I was collaborating on a new project today talking about the tech stack of what we're going to use to build it. So I thought I'll make a video today about how do you even come up with a tech stack. So the tech stack is the combinations of different technologies to build your app. And it's fun. It's like that's like the fun of development. You get different technologies, and mix and match them, combine it to create a new app that doesn't exist before. And you leverage different technologies. Like you have the front end of the app, the back end of the app, different APIs, different libraries. So you build up upon existing technologies and softwares, combine it, and write your own code, and then you create your own app. And there's infinite tech stacks you can use. There's different ways you even decide on what tech stack you want to use, and there's really no right or wrong answer to this. Each developer, everyone has their own opinion on this, and I just want to give you my opinion at the time. And I think the biggest factor of determining your tech stack is the developer's experience. I also want to preface before that you can use different technologies to do the same exact result. So it's basically thinking about how you're going to go about creating your app. And you can do it different ways to get the end result. And so the first point is developer preference. Each developer has their own experience working with different technologies, and some like programming languages, ways of thinking, paradigms of programming resonates with the developer more than other. So usually if the developer has experience in the field, in this language, if the developer has a good experience, they will try to use it in the tech stack. And also, if they didn't have a good experience with it, they'll go about using a new technology. So the experience of the developer building the app is a big experience. Another thing, probably a little bit more bigger factor, is the platform that the app will be used on. If it'll be used in mobile, web app, if it's just an API, if it's something heavy with data analytics, it's the use case of that, the back end of it, the servers. And this is mainly the programming language you use. So you want to use the programming language that will best use for the platform you need. So it's based on the developer's experience and then also the platform you want to use. And then when you're building the app, besides like the programming languages, you use different APIs, or you interact with different technologies out there. Like you want to interact with Google, you want to interact with OpenAI, you want to interact with SendGrid. There's a multitude of any of them, and there's multiple options as well. So you want to choose a vendor where you leverage the existing software, existing API to do what you want to do. And when you use this, when you pick which vendor you want to use, cost is a big factor, because some technologies are cheaper and more expensive than other and they can be priced differently. They're usually priced based on how often you interact with them, and it's usually in like a tiered environment. So if you send a certain amount of emails out with SendGrid, it's this tier. If you want to use more, is that another tier. So it depends on what you use. And then there's also the documentation, how well documents are written out for developers to use. If the documentation is hard for developers to use, they probably won't have a good experience with it, and they will try to avoid it. If the documentation is good, they'll be in favor of it. Do they have good customer support? Because sometimes you need help, that the technology is not working the way you want, and you ask a question, do they respond? So their support level also is a factor. Another factor about using APIs is that or different softwares, that they can go out of business. So if you're using an API that goes out of business, that's bad. You kind of have to redo it. And then if you use programming languages, they can get deprecated, like jQuery. If you use where they no longer support the language, and you're just kind of using legacy. So you want to use technologies that you believe will keep existing in the future and is stable, and then it naturally will grow, become even bigger. Excuse me. So those are the main things. You create a tech stack based on your developer's preference, background experience with that technology, what they like, what they don't like, based on what platform it uses. The technology has to solve a specific problem you want, and then you want to use technologies that you believe will keep existing and grow from now, not go out of business. So those are the main points I want to talk to you about in this video. If you need help building out your app, feel free to message me about what you're working on, about the project, any questions you have. If you're learning how to code, let me know what you're struggling with, what your goals are, and I can see how I can help. Thank you.